A golden voice has wakened me up today. I'm waking up with a golden voice. A golden voice has wakened me up today. And when I was listening to the speech, I was like, what? You know what? These are the kind of the leaders that we need in Africa. They are the kind of people we actually need in Africa. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for those who are subscribing every day and every time. If it's your first time for you to be here, make sure you click that subscription box over there. Welcome back into this space. Thank you so much for everybody who keeps on coming here time by time. I salute you so much. I love you all and I appreciate you so much. This golden voice is coming from the one and only Julius Malema. And you know, I'm a kind of a person who is just a kind of a person who just feels good when I hear a leader speaking, because I can be able to I'm a kind of a person who can be able to differentiate between a voice of a leader and a voice of a gamer, a voice of a leader and a voice of a politician. Okay, I'm the only kind of a person who can be able to actually differentiate or to filter out the words that a leader is not supposed to speak and the words that a leader is supposed to speak. When it comes to this one, Julius Malema, according to the situation that Africa is in right now, and according to the things we want to hear right now in Africa, this man is speaking what Africans want to hear. This man is speaking like a true leader, a leader who can save the land of Africa. And given a chance, this guy can do what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso today in South Africa. If this man is given a chance to lead, if this man gets an opportunity to sit on the throne, he can he can do, high chances are there that he can do the same way that Burkina Faso is doing, that Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. I want you to listen to this message from the one and only Julius Malema.
French continue to micromanage all the countries that were their colonies, except the recent liberated zones of Mali and Burkina Faso. Comrades, the French are brutal, to a point that post-colonialism, they still make certain African countries to pay colonial tax to France. The French are brutal because some of their former colonies, their reserve banks are still in France. They are not in control of their own economy, yet they claim to have an independence. We, as progressive Pan-Africanists, must fully associate with and support all revolutionary actions of fighters who are removing puppets of French imperialism from political office and power. Not all these actions are revolutionary, because we must be careful of French-sponsored coups in Africa, where we think there is a revolution taking place in Guinea-Conakry, only to find that there is a French puppet who seeks to replace those who were there before. There is nothing revolutionary about the Guinea-Conakry coup. We ought to separate that there can never be a revolutionary coup that reinforces French imperialism on African soil. Anyone who comes into political office under the pretext that they are fighting a French puppet, while knowing they are the French puppet themselves, must be isolated by progressive Pan-Africanists. All French soldiers and military must leave the African continent, and this also should apply to neo-colonial military bases, including the African Command Center of the USA. We don't want the army of America. We don't want the army of France here. We don't want the army of anyone. We want African army on African soil. Technical weapons to all progressive forces of the African continent to fight against colonialism. There is a political trend that is being accepted by African heads of state and government, where one country convenes all 54 heads of African states and government. The United States of America, France, China, Russia, and United Kingdom convene all 54 heads of states and government for a meeting, and they all go following each other like Casey and Jojo as heads of states to listen to one head of state, 51 of them. Sometimes they disrespect them to a point where they put all 54 heads of states of Africa in a school bus to go and listen to one head of state. What happened to these men? Because all of them, majority of them are men. What happened to these fathers who go and bow combined to one man? Even if he's Putin, why would they all follow each other and go and listen to one person? What happened to their dignity and their authority as leadership? They must have leadership qualities to know that Putin is equal to them, that China is equal to their own single country, irrespective of their size, because what matters is sovereignty. These pockets of wars that are happening in Africa are not of our own making. They are sponsored wars so that those who continue to steal our resources can do so uninterrupted as we fight amongst ourselves. So we need a military, a common defense system, the African High Command that will ensure the stability and security of Africa. We equally need a binding African court to deal with dictators who only exist in Africa to feed their friends and families. Those people must be prosecuted the African way. Seko Tore and Emperor Haile Selassie prophetically said that the failure to unite the African continent will give rise to the neo-colonialism and that African continent will perish. The revolutionary pan-Africanist ideological and political diagnosis of the future was correct. The future is here. 50 years later, we know that we remain visitors in our own continent. We know that our resources benefit Euro-American than our own people. This is despite most African countries gaining independence from colonial rule since 1957. Massive, huge tracts of land, our mineral resources, our animals, our oceans are still owned and controlled by the colonial masters. There are no countries in the entire African continent that have gained full economic emancipation and independence. And this includes Ghana, which was the first to lead the road. Till to date, it can't claim that Africans in Ghana own the means of production. In 2016 report titled The New Colonialism reveals that there are 101 British companies listed on the London Stock Exchange that control an identified 1.5 trillion US dollars worth of resources in Africa in just 5 commodities: oil, gold, diamond, coal, and platinum. This is a very conservative figure since it includes resources listed by only some companies. Many companies do not provide the figures of the resources they control. And majority of these companies that do not tell us what they control and what they own in Africa are found in DRC, because they are the ones who fuel the divisions in DRC. They are the ones who fuel the fight in DRC, and they are stealing the resources of DRC.
Welcome back again. Have you heard whatever Julius Malema said? This is a man who is speaking the truth. And everything he has said, without fear of contradiction, I'll sit back here and open my mouth boldly and tell you whatever Julius Malema has just spoken back there, it is truth and pure truth. And, I wonder, why is it that it is very hard for leaders to be able to start addressing these issues? Okay? we need now to have leaders who are going to speak the truth. We need the truth to be spoken boldly. Come out and speak the truth without fear of contradiction. Don't fear anybody. Don't fear anyone. You're speaking with courage, and you're speaking with a lot of strength because you are in your own land. You know what? It is very hard, and it's very bad when someone starts developing some maybe some kind of fears in him when you are in your own country. What if when you are in a different country, when you are in a foreign country? Because the moment we start fearing in our own country, that is where the whole problem begins from. That is where the whole problem begins from. Because when you want to do right, someone comes out and tries to threaten you, and then you feel like you can't do this because somebody has threatened you, and then you start doing the wrong thing simply because you fear, because you have been threatened. And my question becomes, for how long will we continue living that way? Just tell people the truth. Come out and tell people the truth. If United States of America is doing or it's becoming a hell of a thing to you, tell them the truth. If Russia is becoming a hell to your people, rather to your country, tell them the truth. Okay? If you see someone or somebody who is not trying to do right, or rather who is trying to make you feel uncomfortable, tell them the truth. Because we are not being biased, rather we are not being of hatred. I don't hate United States of America. I love US. Okay, because it's a good country. I don't hate Russia. I don't hate France. I love France. I love Russia. I love all these countries. I love the Europe countries because these are countries and they are lands that all of them, they were created by God. Okay. The problem is the people who are living in that country. What I'm really the thing that I don't really like, or what I'm against so much, is when you're making another person feels uncomfortable. Okay, is when you're making the other person feels like he is not worthy, or rather he is not important. Because we have seen these people telling us, we have seen the Western countries telling people that we Africans, we are uncivilized. That we Africans, we don't know the ways of democracy. We Africans, we are people who are poor, okay? And my question remains, why should you make the other person feel uncomfortable? And Julius Malema is coming out very boldly saying, we don't want these people in our land. Why is he saying that? Because we have gotten to a point when we now feel like we are being drained. Okay, the little strength we had, the little perseverance we were having, it's now being drained out of us, out of our bodies. Okay, completely, and we are remaining with no otherwise than to speak the truth. Now we have leaders who are very much fearful. We have leaders who are very much afraid. They cannot stand out. They cannot stand and say this and this and this and this. It is wrong. Julius Malema is saying for a fact, we don't want France militaries in African land. We don't want the US militaries in African land, because US has got a country called US. France has got its country that is called France. Why does a country has to come out and develop, or rather create a military, or make a military? You are coming with an idea of making a military because you want to create, or rather you want to make peace in your country. You want to make your country live safe. You want your boundaries to be taken care of. Okay, that is why you come up with an idea of creating a military for your own country. So why should you go on and fetch your military, take them, or rather collect your military and take them to a foreign country and make them have maybe having shed there, having what do we call it, having shelter there and living there? Okay, it's like they're owning that place. Why should you do that? Because your military as a country belongs to you as a country. It does not belong to, like, you're coming with your military to my country and start guarding me on what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. Like we are kids. Really, that one does not make sense at all. It doesn't really make sense at all. Here in Kenya, we have US military. In Kenya, not just US military. We have US military base in Kenya. And Another one. I've heard rumors that another one wants to be added in Kenya here. U.S. military. What is the U.S. military base doing in Kenya? Eh? When even like, it is very, sometimes it's not even making sense. It's not even adding up. U.S. Talked with President William Ruto, and this President William Ruto is a puppet to the United States. I know that. I cannot fear saying that. I know that with a fear of contradiction, is a puppet to the United States, because how can you on earth be taken, or like rather you just asked to take your military or your police officers to Haiti to go and fight and make peace in Haiti, and you accept? Okay, why do you accept that? It's like you're the only country, or rather it's like you're the only person who has got the biggest military, rather militaries who are skillful to go and make peace in Haiti, when in your own country Kenya there is no peace. In your own country Kenya, people are crying, people are suffering. In your own country, insecurity is all over, but you have the guts to take your military from Africa miles away to go to Haiti and to go and make peace there. Okay, and the people who are asking you to take your military to Haiti to go and maintain peace in Haiti, the same people, they have got militaries, and the distance between their countries to Haiti is very close compared to the distance between Africa, Kenya to Haiti. Seriously, if that's not an act of puppetry, what is that? And these are the kind of the things that Julius Malema is addressing. Here are the kind of the things that he's addressing. If you want to know that African militaries, African people, African leaders are just ready to be used, and the West are just after using them, it's this act of President William Ruto taking presidents to Haiti. Why is it? Ask yourself, why is it that the US wouldn't have taken their militaries to the if they really wanted peace to Haiti, if they really wanted the people of Haiti to maintain peace and order? Why wouldn't they take their militaries to Haiti to go and maintain peace and order? Why should they come all the way from the US to Africa, Kenya, to come and take, to come and convince President William Ruto to take the militaries to Haiti? When they have militaries, they can take them to Haiti to go and maintain peace and order. Okay? President William Ruto, if you are after helping, or rather if you have, you two people, these two nations, United States and Kenya, if your deals and maybe your organization, your association is about only the issues of the goodwill, why is it that you in your own country there is no peace? In your own country, insecurity is all over, but you can take your military to Haiti? Why wouldn't you say no? Okay, charity begins at home. That is what I believe. For you to be able to start talking about someone else's issues, for you to be able to start addressing someone else's issues, for you to be able to intrude into someone else's matter, you need to have solved your issues first. Make sure the same issue, or rather the same thing you want to solve from another person, you yourself, you're not going through the same kind of a thing. You're not going through the same kind of a problem. Oh my God! What are these? I cannot be someone who does not have a car, and at the same time I want to start in advising someone who has a car on how to maintain a car, and yet I don't have a car. Okay? I cannot be someone who does not have a house, and yet I want to start addressing or advising someone who has a house on how to maintain law and order in his house. Why would you accept to take your militaries to Haiti to go and maintain peace and order, to go and bring and make security, enhance security, when in your own country there is insecurity? Security, instability is at large. There is no peace. There is no order in your country. Eh? These are the things that that Julius Malema is actually addressing today. These are the things that Julius Malema is addressing. Without fear, he has come out boldly. And we want leaders who are going to speak that way. We want leaders who are going to call a spade, not a big spoon. Because a spade is just a spade. telling us a spade is a big spoon, rather calling it a big spoon because you don't want the real, or rather the real thing to be seen, the real picture of the real matter to be seen. That is what we don't want. Okay? That is what we don't want. We want leaders who will come out and address the real issues the way they are, the real problems the way they are, the real things the way they are. We want African land to remain for Africans. We want the freedom of Africans to come. We want people, because these the issues of we are trying to do what, we are trying to make. There's nothing you're trying to make. You're just trying to make your people feel happy. You're just trying to make us feel like, oh, you guys are working, when we know very well you're not working. There is nothing you're doing at all. There is nothing you're doing. Just trying to make us feel good, or they're trying to make us listen. There is no development you're bringing to Africa when you're having ties with the Western countries. It's been years. It's been a lot of years. The last video I did, I said that Ibrahim Traore has taken a very short time to be able to bring in Burkina Faso, or rather to be able to implement and bring in action in Burkina Faso things that many leaders here in Africa have failed to do for 60 good years. Ibrahim Traore has taken only 2 years to do all those things. These are the kind of leaders that we need. I don't know, what do you want else? What else do you want so that you can be able to implement these things? You can be able to bring development in your countries. I don't know, you are waiting for a bell to be to ring so that you can be able to start acting on the real issues, or what? Because Africa is not in a good position. And out here, things that are happening out here in Africa, there are things that are very bad. And we are keeping quiet, pretending it's like we are not seeing. Yet we see the things that are happening as leaders, as politicians, but we don't want to address those issues, because when we address those issues, we shall be actually we shall be pinching the people that are helping us, pinching them, the people that are helping us, people who are taking care of our interests, people who are taking care of our pockets, people who are taking care of our health. We shall be pinching them, and simply because we don't want to pinch them, we will keep quiet on the problems. The problems are arising, we are keeping quiet on them. The problems are coming out, we are keeping quiet on these problems. We don't want actually to speak out on the real issues that are affecting Africa and Africans in the land of Africa. We are not talking about these issues. We are keeping quiet because we don't want to be seen bad to the foreigners. We want to make foreigners happy, and our own people here in our own country are suffering. Africa, France has not been good to the land of Africa. These countries, they have not been good to the land of Africa. England hasn't. US has not been. All these countries, the British, they have not been good to the land of Africa. They were here to Africa, in Africa before. They colonized us. They made us go through hell. We felt like, our ancestors felt like, what the hell? What was the hell? Like, what is happening? They felt like we are really not actually living how we are supposed to live. They cried under their hands. They cried under their oppression. But you are here, you still want to make these people feel like, oh, you want to make these people happy. You want to impress these people as a leader, as an African leader. No, we want leaders who will come out and address the real issues the way they are. We want leaders who will come out and speak on the real issue the way they are. Call a spade a spade. If something is bad, if someone is bad, come out and say this person is not doing right. A right is a right, and a wrong is a wrong. These issues of trying to justify the wrong and you're trying to make the wrong look like a right. No. That's not the right way to do this. It's not the right way to come about this. It's not the right way to do this. It's not the right way to do things. It can never happen that way. We want leaders who will come out and speak the truth, like Julius Malema, like how Julius Malema has just done. Speak the truth. If someone is bad, someone is bad. If someone is oppressing you, someone is oppressing you. And don't fear to say it. Speak it out, say it out, because only by speaking the truth is when you will be free. Even in the holy book, it has been written, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Only by knowing the truth is when you will be free. Because if you will not have the knowledge of knowing the truth or knowing the good and the bad, you will suffer. And the moment you understand this is the good and this is bad, address it the way it is. Address it the way it is. Don't try to be making someone happy, or rather trying to impress someone. When your people are crying, your people are suffering. You're having people in your country who are crying because of anger. There is no food. There is nothing they can do. They're crying every day. But you are there. You are not paying attention on them at all. You're just quiet. You're just quiet. And you're calling us yourself a leader. That's not leadership. That is not leadership. You are a dog in a human form, not a leader at all. Not a leader. You are a dog that is wearing a skin of a sheep. And these are things we need to address them. These are things we need to speak them out. Excuse me. These are things we need to speak them out the way they are. These are things we need to address them the way they are. If someone is bad, he is bad. Leave our land. Let us run our issues. Let us do our things the way we are supposed to do them. Let us be able to focus on our issues as Africans, as black people. Our resources, let us drive them. Let us take over them. Let us be able to work with them ourselves. We can do it. We can do it. You see, Burkina Faso started making a gold production of gold for the first time since breaking ties with France, which means there is something. Which means these people are really stacking us. Listen, we Africans, we want to live in peace in Africa. We want to live by our own. We want to govern our own self. We want to lead our own self. That is what we want. And by doing that, we will be able to get to a point or reach to a point where you people thought we cannot reach. You call us poor every day. You call us uncivilized every day. You're telling us we are people who does not know what we are doing. We are people who don't have knowledge. We are people who like all the sort of things. You know what you're telling us. And guys, we are looking forward for a great change. We need leaders who will come up and address the real issues the way they are. Address those issues the way they are. Address them the way they are. That is the kind of leaders that we need. That is the kind of leaders that we need. Leaders like Julius Malema, who are addressing the real issues the way they are. Come out and speak the truth. Let it be how it will be. If it's going to be bad, let it be bad. If it's going to look bad, let it look bad. But at the end of the day, you have spoken the truth and you know that you are helping the people of your nation. Your mothers will not cry because of anger anymore. Because by speaking the truth, you're putting some light in the society. Your children will not walk on the street. They will not be sleeping angry. You're going to make a change because by doing that, you're shedding some light in the society. Those are the kind of leaders that we need. I say again, Julius Malema be given a chance. He's going to do and he's going to change Africa and South Africa like Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. Let us crave to be leaders like those ones. Let us yearn to bring out and to bring leaders and to make leaders who are going to address the real issue who are going to come out and speak the truth, who are ready to fight for the African land, who are going to fight for the freedom of Africa. That is what we need, and I urge you all Pan-Africanists who are out there to be able to do the same thing. Do not keep quiet when things are messy. Are messy. Do not keep quiet when things when things are not working out well. Be a person. Be outstanding. Be exceptional. Be distinct. Come out and speak the truth. Address the issues the way they are. And by doing that, we are going to find and we are going to restore our land back. Africa is home. Africa ni nyumbani. Africa is home. Everything that concerns Africa concerns us, concerns me and you as black people, as black mother, as black father, as black brother and sister, as black kids in Africa and in diaspora in particular. I love you all. Adios, adios.